Good day, everybody. Today we're covering in Chapter 2 of Philosophy of Freedom is paragraph 7. Alright, let's get started. When man reflects upon the I, he perceives in the first instance the work of this I in the conceptual elaboration of the world of ideas. Hence, a world conception that inclines towards spiritualism may feel tempted, in looking at man's own essential nature, to acknowledge nothing of spirit, except this world of ideas. In this way, spiritualism becomes one-sided idealism. Instead of going on to penetrate through the world of ideas to the spiritual world, idealism identifies the spiritual world with the world of ideas itself. As a result, it is compelled to remain fixed with its world outlook in the circle of activity of the ego, as if bewitched. The summary for that is: spiritualism becomes one-sided idealism when it remains within the activity of the I itself and does not go beyond the world of ideas unfolded through thought. Basically, it just means to the spiritual world isn't the world of ideas. Basically, it's sort of the world behind that, if you will. It'll probably make more sense as we progress. That's the thing with this book, is you'll have all these questions that come up, and then he probably addresses them later on in some manner. So what's important is that you hold on to the questions that you have in mind, and hopefully things do kind of make a little more sense as we progress. Paragraph 8, I will begin with that. A curious variant of idealism is to be found in the view which Frederick Albert Lange has put forward in his widely read History of Materialism. He holds that the materialists are quite right in declaring all phenomenon, including our thinking, to be the product of purely material processes, but conversely, matter and its processes are for him themselves the product of thinking. And his quote is, "The senses give us only the effects of things, not true copies, much less the things themselves. But among these mere effects, we must include the senses themselves, together with the brain and molecular vibrations which we assume to go on there." And this is Steiner. That is, our thinking is produced by the material processes, and these by the thinking of our I. Lange's philosophy is nothing more than the story in philosophical terms of the intrepid Baron Munchausen, who holds himself up in the air by his own pigtail. The summary for that is: another idealist, F.A. Lange, curiously says our thinking is produced by material processes, but that these material processes are a product of our thinking. I mean, obviously that doesn't make sense, but I mean, this is something that was, going on in the philosophical circles, just saying that the whole idea of what does he say here? Yeah, these material processes are a product of our thinking. It is what it is. So I'm going to go on with paragraph 9. The third form of monism is the one which finds, even in the simplest entity, the atom, both matter and spirit already united. But nothing is gained by this either, except that the question, which really originates in our consciousness, is shifted to another place. How comes it that the simple entity manifests itself in a twofold manner, if it is an indivisible unity? The summary is: a third type of monism sees matter and spirit united in the simplest entity, the atom, while failing to explain how a single entity can express itself in a twofold way. Paragraph 10. Against all these theories, we must urge the fact that we meet with the basic and primary opposition first in our own consciousness. It is we ourselves who break away from the bosom of nature and contrast ourselves as I with the world. Goethe has given classic expression to this in his essay Nature, although his manner may at first sight be considered quite unscientific. The quote is, "Living in the midst of her, nature, we are strangers to her. Ceaselessly she speaks to us, yet betrays none of her secrets." But Goethe knows the reverse side too. Men are all in her, and she in all. The summary for that is, it is in our own consciousness that we place ourselves as I in opposition to the world. However, Goethe states that we are within nature and that nature is within us. So we have to keep in mind that we are the ones that are creating this situation where it's I and the world. It's in our thinking, in our consciousness, that we recognize ourselves as I and the world. And let's go on to 11. However true it may be that we have estranged ourselves from nature, it is nonetheless true that we feel we are in her and belong to her. It can be only her own working which pulsates also in us. The summary for that is, though we have estranged ourselves from nature, we feel we are in her and belong to her, and her activity pulsates in us. I'm going to stop that there, and we'll finish the next 3 paragraphs next time. See ya.